that Hong Kong was ceded to the British. A big real estate transaction. And just to kind of prove that real estate contracts, if they're in writing, are enforceable, in 1997, China was handed back when the lease ran out. Did you know on this historic day, in 1785, Sam Ellis advertised his property, Oyster Island, for sale. Oyster Island, also known as Ellis Island. That's right. Now, Sam was a fizzball, so he was, of course, overpriced. His terms were ridiculous, and he had no marketing capability, so he had no takers for his island. And that occurred on that day. In 1783, U.S. and British representatives signed a cessation of hostilities, effectively ending the fighting in the American Revolution, the Revolutionary War. And from that day till today, we've worked, many people, to create a government, a democracy that had never been seen before, that leads us right up to today, and today's events going on in our country. So before we start, we wanted to recognize that, and we want to recognize people that have helped to bring us to that point. And because today is historic in many ways. It shows the growth of our country, the things that have gone on over the years. The mistakes we've made and what we've learned from them, how we've come back and grown from them. And it really helps, I think the thing, and I think Dave's going to touch on this a little bit too, it creates a great sense of hope in our country. When we can have a government where the previous leaders of the government freely and willingly hand over to the new leaders of our country an event, our Inauguration Day event, and everybody stands together as a country. And so we would like to recognize that, and before we do that, just real quick, we'd also like to recognize anybody here who has served our country. Do we have any veterans here that have served in the armed forces? Could you please stand up? Is there any veterans here that have served in the armed forces? Dave standing in the back. Please stay standing. Please stay standing. Do we have anybody who is currently serving in the armed forces, or you have a family member that is? If you could please stand as well, too. Anybody has family members serving in the armed forces? Thank you. Thank you for your service and family service. Now, if we could all please stand, we're going to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and then please stay standing for the singing of our national anthem. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,